Hello, it is Chris Raquel and I am back again. I am here with part 2 of how to online date. So let's get into it. I'm drinking a mocha coffee. I'm used to, I usually like to, I usually drink hazelnut a lot. I take those K cups, and when my husband and I went grocery shopping, we found mocha. So he loves mocha, anything usually like sweetened. And I don't know, mocha's, it smells amazing when it's brewing, and it's not like it's cold or anything to be drinking coffee right now, but I really wanted a coffee. So for this particular topic, in the last video, part 1 of how to online date, I spoke about the process before setting up your profile and preparing for that initial communication with someone. So in this video, I want to talk about what to do prior to that first date once you have it scheduled. I know I mentioned at the end of the last video how you would be, communicating, how much communication is okay, and let's just get into it. So, and then I want to talk about what to do afterwards, if you should stay online and that sort of thing as well. So you've been communicating with someone. Please check out part 1 if you need some more details about setting up your profile and more in-depth information about how that communication should look like and when it's okay to go forward with someone and not. So you've already had your profile, he found you, he saw the pictures that you had up. You had those 5 to 6 pictures included on your online dating profile. So what you're going to want to do next, you have that date set up. One thing for sure, you don't want to be communicating too much with this gentleman during that process where you're waiting for your first date. So for me, in my case, before I met my husband, I had 3 dates set up with 3 individuals. My husband was one of them, and I was actually going on a trip, so I couldn't schedule a date with them until maybe 2 weeks after the first communication, but all of them had mentioned that they wanted to, go on a date with me. So I was not in a lot of communication with them. One of them I didn't talk to at all until the date, and then my husband and another one, we had like a little bit of communication. So I would say, unless you're going away somewhere, unless you're going to be unavailable to talk, to go on a date in person, that date should be scheduled within a week's time. You're living your full life, so it may be kind of hit or miss in terms of the communication. So he may send you a message, you're not going to get to it till the end of the day when you're done with work, and then he may not be online until the end of the day or later on after you sign off already, or he may not get to it till the next day. But within a week, you should have had a conversation or 2 on the phone, not FaceTime. If you need more information about why you shouldn't FaceTime before a first date, I put the link below for you, or I will put the link below when I upload this video. And so after that, you've already, you have that date set up. You should have that date scheduled within a week. Not saying you have to go on a date within a week, but it should be scheduled within that week or within that first 1 or 2 phone calls, which I'm assuming has taken place within a week. So just look at it that way. That's how I'm looking at it. That's why I'm saying a week. So after that, what you're gonna do is you're gonna get prepared for your date. Ladies, you're gonna look lovely. Once again, your page, your profile should not have any photos with enhanced, as in with you having filters over it. Filters to enhance your beauty, filters to make your lips more luscious, filters to make your nose more refined, defined, and smaller, filters to make your eyes more round, filters to make your face more chiseled. No, be yourself, be happy with who you are. There are some people who maybe are not content with how they look, but those 6 pictures, all pictures should be you. No filter. He needs to know what he's getting. And I'm sorry, like, if you're gonna be putting filters on your picture, you shouldn't FaceTime regardless, but that's not okay if you're someone who's gonna be like, you have all 6 of your pictures that you have, however many you have, I have a filter on it, and then the man asks you for FaceTime, and you say, no, I don't do that. I watched this video by Krystalracquelspeaks, Raquel, and she said we shouldn't FaceTime, but all your pictures are enhanced by filters, like to do the things that I mentioned, make your face smaller, chisel here, luscious lips. I'm just being honest, those filters may make you more attractive or more conventionally attractive. So that's not right for you to be like, oh yeah, well, you know, she said no FaceTime, so even though I have these filtered pictures, I'm not doing it because of that. You need to go ahead and correct your pictures and put who you are, show who you are. And it is true, most people, when they put a filter on, it makes you look more beautiful. I'm not saying you're not beautiful the way you are, but when I put a filter on my picture, I look more conventionally beautiful. So that's not okay. One, the men shouldn't be looking at you for your looks, but just the same way that ladies don't like when a man who, let's say, a man is under 6 foot. Normally when it's like 6'2", 6'3", 6'4", they're probably not fibbing, not making something up. But we usually, a lot of times when it's like 5'10", 5'11", when it says that, ladies, we assume, okay, maybe they're not being completely honest. Why is every man on here saying 5'10", 5'11", and 6 foot? It's usually that height range. So ladies, I'm sure you don't like it when you see somebody, mind you, not judging a man by his physical appearance completely, but let's say you're a lady who has that standard, or like a, what do you call it, like a wish list that you want your man to be a certain height. And like for me, I'm 5'11". I wanted my husband to be like, I'm 5'10" and a half. I wanted my husband to be like no more than an inch or inch and a half shorter than me, and like he could be taller than me. So that was my wish list. You can have a wish list, but I do have to say you need to be realistic. So if you're a 5 foot woman, does that make sense that you're trying to claim a man who's 6 foot, 6'2" and up? Leave that for the tall ladies, okay? Like, let's just be realistic here. Come on, like I understand you're really small. Maybe you don't want a man who's super short. That I can kind of understand that perspective as well. But let's be realistic. Who are these tall ladies? I'm not talking about myself, but I'm already taking. If somebody has a preference, you know, a lot of ladies, I'm getting off topic, but a lot of ladies, it's just natural. Men on average are taller than ladies, and that can make ladies feel more feminine or feel more, feel protected by having a man being bigger or taller, depending on what you feel, right? And, you know, let's be realistic here. If the lady's 5'11", 5'10", she goes with a tall man, like typically that's a good fit for her, you would imagine, right? She's tall, so she will go for maybe a man that's tall. If you're a short lady, maybe you can go for a man that's short or taller than you, if that's what you prefer. But you know what goes, like I'm off topic, but just trying to think realistically. If you're a 5 foot lady, that's okay for you to date a man who's 5'7", okay? That man goes well with you, you know, versus a woman, if she feels like wants to feel feminine, a woman who's maybe 6'2" won't go with the 5, it doesn't really, what's the word, I'm thinking of a word in Spanish, it doesn't I guess fit well. Not saying it doesn't fit well, but it will make more sense if on average in society the woman is shorter than the man on average. So if there's a 5'7" man, who's he supposed to date? If he wants to be the taller one in a relationship, because on average men are taller, if that's what you want to look at. If he wants to go with the everyday norms, on average, if he's 5'7", like it's okay. You're a 5 foot lady, okay? Why wouldn't you date? He's 7 inches taller than you. Stick to those men. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying in general, like, you know, there's short men, there's tall men, there's mid-sized men on average, and there's a lot of tall ladies. Let the tall ladies find somebody that works well with them too, on average. Anyway, but where was I going with this? I was just bringing it up just to say, in general, you know, you want to make sure that you're, you know, focusing on the right things. But yes, we're talking about the height in terms of on the profile. So if a man has that on his profile and it's not really actually that height, you're like, okay, like one, it kind of shows you what your focus is. Don't be so focused on that, but you want somebody to be honest, right? You, regardless of if height is so important to you or not, let's say you're looking at his profile, you find him attractive, it just is how attraction works. So there's men, maybe they're looking at a photo and, you know, it's you, and maybe they think you're pretty, they think you're kind of okay, and then they think you're nice looking, and they notice that on one of the pictures, on most of the pictures that you're showing, it shows that you have like abs, like not abs, but like your stomach looks very flat. You know, you look like you have a good, the physique that they like, or conventionally attractive, or what they find attractive, what they are interested in. Mind you, looks is not everything. And then when you come in person, the pictures that you have up there, it can go both ways, but you have, from your picture, let's say you're like 5'5", you have like 50 pounds more than what was in the pictures, okay? That man, you can't be like, oh, well, you know, maybe I just put those pictures when I would look my best, and when we're in person, he's gonna be interested in me. I'm gonna have a great personality, and he's gonna, if he, you know, maybe I'm a little bit overweight now, maybe he's gonna like it now. He's gonna like me in person because he liked me before. Similarly, mind you, weight is something different where you can actually change, but similarly, with the height, that's not really nice, mind you. Like, let's say the man was looking and he kind of, let's say you looked and you thought he was okay, nice looking or whatever, and a little bit, and then you saw that he was 6 foot and you really wanted a man that was 6 foot, but then in person he's like 5'9", and a lot of times men think, okay, well, I think this is what men think, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, they'll think, oh, if I put a different height, then, you know, she's not really gonna know when I'm in person, she's gonna still like me, she's gonna overlook that, but that's not true, right? Not overlook it, the people look at it like as dishonesty. So I brought up those two scenarios in terms of the woman's perspective and a man's perspective, just to say that put your picture up. It's okay if you have a beat face with makeup. It's okay if that's how you're gonna show up on your date. That is fine. You don't have to have pictures with no makeup. That's okay. Like if I'm doing a professional picture for work or something, I'm gonna have my face made up. You know, it's okay to enhance yourself. There's, you know, not trying to go into the Bible, but even in the Bible, people enhance their beauty, or they did. So my point with bringing up those scenarios is about the filters. Do not put pictures up. It's so, you know, there's a reason why you're putting a filter. You know, it makes you look more enhanced, makes you look more beautiful. So yes, the man shouldn't be focused on your looks, just like you're not focused on the man's height, and you shouldn't be so focused on the weight. But you need to present yourself as you are. If you're not going to show up to this date with your face behind a filter, you should not be presenting yourself that way online. Be real with who you are. Showcase who you are. If you find that, if you don't feel like you're thin enough, or you think that you're too skinny or whatever, that doesn't mean you should put pictures of when you were larger or pictures of when you were thinner. That means you need to still show who you are. And if you're not confident with the pictures you want to post, that tells me you should wait until you're going to be confident with presenting yourself as you are. So if you're not confident with your physique, then you're going to have to just not do online dating for now and go get in the gym to either build muscle, gain weight, lose weight, or lean out, because it doesn't make sense. Why are you It's an illusion, it's a lie. If you're posting pictures, that's not how you look. They need to see how you look just the same way you need to see how they look. Okay, so that's important. Now you're preparing for the first date. Here we go. You're preparing for that first date. You're gonna wanna make sure that you are looking beautiful. He should have planned a date, and it's okay. I went through a couple different things. So sometimes a man might ask you, like, if you have any, it's good if he asks you this, that do you have any food preferences or things you don't eat? That's a good sign. I mean, he's trying to do some research, trying to find you something good, something that you're gonna like. Or there might be a man who just automatically picks a restaurant, and that can tell you a little bit about him depending on what type of restaurant he chooses. And then there's also going to be a man who just says, you pick what you want. That's always nice. That allows you to pull the reins, take the reins, and pick something that you want to like. And of course, you're gonna pick something that's reasonable, a nice date location. So I'll get into like first date selections if you're picking, but just keep in mind, you're going to be mindful of what he's trying to select. If he says that he wants to go on a date for a park, that tells me not that you failed, but you should have known what type of date he would want to take you on in the first place. If he wants to go on a park, then I would decline. If he asks you for coffee at that point, after you already decided on a date, I would decline. You would say it very nicely. So in terms of the coffee date, you would say, oh no, I don't. If you don't like coffee, you say, oh, I don't drink coffee. Oh, thank you. Or you would say, oh no, I don't do that. I like to go on dates and have a meal or sit down, or maybe not have a meal, because sometimes I know there's a lot of men who are saying that women like to go out just to get free meals, which I know is not the case. I made a video partly about that. But he was like, yeah, unfortunately I don't, he'd be like, yeah, I don't really do coffee dates. You could say something like that. In terms of a walk, be like, oh, you said you want to go on a walk? Okay, is that before or after dinner? Or you want to go on a walk as what can you say to that? Yeah, I figured we can go on a walk in the park. Your response to that can say, oh, I thought we were going to have a formal date, and then he'll know what that means. And if he says, oh yeah, I just meant I want to go for a walk after dinner, perfect. If he says, no, I want us to go on a walk, then you're gonna have to decline and say, okay, thank you so much, I appreciate you want to spend time with me, but I won't be able to do that. I wish you the best with everything. That's the thing. Don't get desperate. Don't be saying, okay, I can go on a date with you. It's okay, I can go on a walk. I love walking. I just got a new workout outfit. I'm ready. No. In terms of a coffee date, just decline and say, no, I won't be able to. I don't do coffee dates, but I thank you for the offer. That you don't have to go into depth because he already offered you coffee. You don't have to try to change his mind. That's what he thought was a nice gesture, to buy your coffee, a coffee that if you probably go to the Dunkin' Donuts or the Starbucks, you get yourself a coffee and something else. He literally wants to buy you a cup of coffee, not go out for breakfast. And the reason why I find that very cheap, regardless of any age, because it depends on where you live, but I know there are so many places, if you want to do breakfast, there's places to do breakfast and it's not even expensive. Like, one, I don't think breakfast is a good thing for a date in the first place. Maybe if they want to do lunch, it's fine, a brunch, but like a breakfast, I think did I go on breakfast? I went on a brunch. But in terms of the breakfast, that's not a big deal. Just forget about whether it's breakfast or brunch or whatever. But there's so many places that are really inexpensive, depending on where you live, and he could obviously just pick that, and your meal would be maybe if you got a couple different things, you got your breakfast, $20 for that, then you get a drink, and depending on where it is, if it's a lunch, buying you lunch, he could spend $50 for the two of you. That's with getting you an orange juice and a coffee, and you getting an omelet or something like that. Your meal would be I would say 15, 20. Your meal can be, depending on what you order, your meal could be $10 if you're going to a brunch place. If you get the extra fruit on the side, it could be 15, and you get your stuff can come to $20, and his could come to $20 depending on what he wants, and adding your tax and adding your tip, and it's not that bad. It's not expensive at all. So for somebody to really offer coffee, to me, that's just somebody who's being cheap, or just somebody who doesn't have the means to, take somebody on a proper date. But I do feel men need to take a stand in terms of what they're doing, because you can't just be going around doing hot pocket dating and then, you're not presenting yourself in a good way as a man by offering somebody a coffee. Because if I want a coffee, I'll go get a coffee myself. You're supposed to be that's the thing, a lot of things are so equal nowadays, right? But the man's supposed to be showing that, hey, I'm just offering you this, a nice meal, and just to be able to talk to you and have a conversation. To me, my coffee here, I can drink that in 20 minutes, okay? That's not worth me sitting down and talking to you for an hour and a half, up to 2 hours. So, I should be able to meet, talk with you, that sort of thing. So you're getting prepared, you already decided where you're gonna go. He's decided, after he's asked you about some food preferences. Be mindful of this, because at one point in time, well, still kind of now, I was doing just pescatarian, and one gentleman had told him that, but then when we went to a place, I have literally, I believe it was 1 or 2 options on the menu to eat. It was mainly poultry dishes and beef, and the food, I think there was just one option that I had. I think I told him that later on too, I told you what, did I tell him that? I told you, that was after when I was ending the communication with him. But yeah, you have to be mindful. That person actually, they were more, I think, focused on my appearance and my looks and being attracted to me. They didn't seem to really be care about what I liked, my interests, and that was a red flag for me. Not a red flag for me, but one thing I was looking for was on my list of things for men was a man that was not selfish, unselfish, and that showed me that he was kind of selfish, because how you can go on a date with somebody, I've told you what I eat and what I don't eat, pick a restaurant that I only have one option to select from, and it would just I wasn't feeling that. But I mean, the guy was nice. I'm sure he'll be a good candidate for someone. So just to stay on the positive side. However, you just want to be mindful of that. Be mindful of people who may be selfish and the things that they do and that they select in terms of the location, what type of date. If you're going to go on a date with them, it's going to be based on, you're going to have to base it on how they're treating you and things like that. Things that they do can show you who they are. So, you know, when you've selected the place, they selected it for you, be mindful of that, like how they're treating you. Like, it's very nice if somebody remembers what you don't eat and they pick a place that has plenty of options for you. That shows that they care and that they're trying to be a gentleman, at least. Whether they are or not, you'll find out. That they try to portray themselves as a gentleman. So then the next option, the next thing you want to be mindful of is actually getting prepared for your date, right? So the date has been selected. Oh, if you're going to select the place, if he wants you to pick it because he wants you to be happy, that's also a good sign. So if he's mindful of your dietary needs and he picks a good place for you, or if he picks a place that is nice, classy, that makes you feel like a nice lady, and where you have an option of wearing what you want there, whether it's you can dress it up, you can dress it down. Yeah, I remember wherever I went, I remember people were always complimenting me based on what I had on. I remember one time I wore like these jeans with like rips in it, you know, like the stylish ones. They're darker, on the darker side, blue, dark jeans, not indigo blue. Then I had these sandal bright orange heels. Yeah, I was looking good on that day. Anyway, then if you're gonna actually pick the location, pick something that's nice, right? So you're not trying to test the man and be like, all right, well, I know I'm feeling like I want lobster today, or this week, I'm gonna pick a lobster place. No, we're talking like that. He's gonna have to bring those coins. I'm gonna go on that date. Let's say you only had like 2 conversations with him, 2 30-minute conversations. I'm gonna go on that date. I'm gonna find the most expensive restaurant that I want to go to, that I have not been to ever in my life. No one has ever taken me there, and I really want to go there, and I cannot even afford it myself, but I'm going to use this opportunity to get some surf and turf, or I don't know, I'm not really a seafood person, but whatever you call it. That's not nice, okay? Be considerate of people. You don't know this man, and I'm assuming you're interested in him because you're going on a date with him, but pick something that's reasonable. Pick something, if you are selecting the food, pick something that's reasonable. Pick something that you would, if you have a brother or had a brother, pick a place that you would want Lee to suggest when going on a date with him, okay? So that means pick something, it depends. I can't give you an exact type of restaurant to go to, but pick something that is going to be reasonable. So I'm not saying you have to pick a place where all the entrees are $10. I don't recommend that, actually, unless it's like a hole in the wall place, a place that's like people want to go to. Like, let's say it's like, I know a lot of, depending on where you live in a large major city, there's like a lot of cool little places you can go to in like the Chinatowns or the Asian locations and places, and those are usually inexpensive, but they're really nice places. But I wouldn't recommend that. No, it's not a first date place. Unless it's maybe for lunch. But you don't want to pick something that's like, you don't want to go to a place like, okay, I'm gonna go on a date, let me pick a place that's $8 for the entree. Like, no, you want him to at least, it should take more than that for your first date. Mind you, it's not all about the money, but I'm just trying to give you some suggestions if the man asks you to pick a place. So you can pick a place. I know it depends on your location, but let's say you live in like the Northeast. You can pick a place that has decently priced entrees, like, on average, maybe the meals are 20s, 30s. They have some higher end ones like in the 40s, like 50s, like a nice restaurant where there's options, there's a range. You can always see what he orders there too, and a place where If you're going for dinner, you can order a glass of wine. A place, so just saying that there's a place that has that option. Not saying you need to or that you should not, but just say you have that option. And then, yeah, so you get prepared for the date. You make sure you know where you're going, and the man needs to, the day before the date at least, he should reach out to you, you know, just to check in, and, you know, or at least, yeah, I would say the night before or the day of, he should definitely say something to you, like, oh, yeah, we're still on for tomorrow. But it depends on the person, of course. But either day before or day of, he needs to check in with you, and not an hour before the date. Like, no, that shows that he's not being considerate of your time, because ladies take time to prepare. I would say the day before, he should at least, that should be the, unless there's something happening, the day before he should connect with you. Okay, so you're prepared. You want to look nice, wear figure flattering clothes, nothing that's skin tight, nothing that if you bend over your front is going to pop out, nothing that if you bend over your butt is going to show. Make sure you're presenting yourself as a lady, classy. Think of this as an interview. So that means, how would you dress on an interview? Not saying you need to wear a suit, not saying you need to wear stockings or closed-toe shoes, but how would you present yourself when you are going in for a formal job interview? You'd be professional, right? You'd be nice, kind, caring. So think of it that way, but think of it in your personal life. You want to present yourself the best way possible. You can wear something that hugs your figure if you would like. That's not any innate or anything, but I'm just saying, nothing skin tight, nothing that has plunging cleavage. I don't suggest cleavage at all. You want him to be focused up here, not here. You should not wear anything short. You want him to focus on your like your face, focus on your beauty, focus on those types of things. You are going to, depending on the occasion, depends, you can wear a dress that, you know, depends on what you want to wear. Try not to wear something that shows too much skin. You want him to be focused, you know, you don't want to be too enticing either. This is for you to get to know him and him to get to know you. So I would say, you know, you can wear a skirt of any length, nothing that's right under your butt, nothing that's too short. You can wear a short skirt though, but not too short. You can wear a knee length skirt. You can wear a long skirt or dress. This applies to dresses and skirts. You could wear a pretty blouse and a skirt. You can wear like a nice top. You can wear spaghetti strap. You can if you're going to just like a dress that's pretty. You can wear a sleeveless shirt. You can wear a short sleeve shirt depending on the occasion. You can wear a long sleeve shirt. You can wear a shirt and like a cardigan depending on the season. There's so many different options you can wear, but I recommend dressing for the occasion. So if it's a dark jeans, heels, long sleeve top, V-neck without cleavage occasion, or some shirt with a design, go ahead and wear that with some nice earrings. Make sure your nails are done, your toes are done, especially if you're showing your feet. If you're not showing your feet, get your toes done. That'll make you feel beautiful and feminine. And you're going to make sure that you have your I mentioned one outfit type. I think dresses are always a good option, like a dress that kind of comes in at your waist and maybe flares out a little bit. That's nice. It's going to show your figure really well. Depends on what your shape is, of course. If you have a apple shape, my shape, I'm not really sure what you call my shape. I would say I have hips. My stomach is not like super flat or anything. I don't have huge hips. And then I'm busty, so I'm not a V shape because I have some hips, but I'm not apple shaped because it's not like I'm larger in the middle and then everything else is kind of smaller. So I would say I'm not hourglass shaped either, because my waist is a little bit too large to be a hourglass shape, and I'm not a box. So I don't know what you say. Maybe a small. I would be maybe a small version. I don't have wide shoulders either to be a V shape. So I would say I would be hourglass shape if I had a small waist, whatever shape it is. So if you know you're more so even with like my measurements and stuff like that, like when I get measured, when I'm trying on clothes, what usually happens is for my figure, like if I purchase a top, if my chest wasn't so big, I would be a size down, or I would size up because of my chest area, but like my waist fits into the size below, but my chest is more comfortable in the size up. Well, same with pants. My waist will fit in this certain size, and if the pants are stretched, I'll go with that size. However, if the pants are not stretched, I'll go with a larger size, and then the waist is like a little bit on the big side of the pull the pants. So that's how you get an idea of my shape. So if you're shaped like that, there's a lot of different things that would work for you, but you have to be mindful. You don't want anything that could dig in your stomach. And if you're more like apple shaped, you also don't want anything to dig in your stomach. There's a great dress that I think looks good, the wrap dress. If you're apple shaped, you know, it gives you like a nice feminine look up top, but then you also have your tie around the waist that like gives that, helps you define your waist even more. And I think if you're pear shaped, you want to be mindful that you're not wearing anything that's too tight on the bottom, just because sometimes with the sizing, when you're really pear shaped, the waist is small, and if you go with the smaller size, it'll be really tight and huggy on the bottom. If you go on the larger side, it might be way too big on your waist, but might need like a little belt to define it. So just be mindful. You don't want to, if you're going on a first date, if you're really like, if you have that bodacious, voluptuous figure with like huge hips and stuff, just be mindful. You don't have to downplay your figure. Your figure is beautiful, but also just be mindful. You don't want anything to be too skin tight on you. Wear something that you know is flattering and is in your correct size. Same for anyone that's apple shaped. Make sure it's in your correct size. You know, you want to enhance the good parts, but not in a way that where it's going to be vulgar or seductive, to where you're having a skin tight on. You're wearing skin tight leggings where if you bend over, they become see-through, and you can also see all like the cellulite. You don't want that look. You want to look flattering. You want to flatter yourself. It's okay if you have on a dress and it's a little bit tight. It's okay for you to put some shapewear underneath. That's something that you do. I love wearing shapewear. I think it really smooths you out. And you also want to make sure you're wearing appropriate brasiers. That means you're going to wear a bra on your right size. Feel free to go into one of the bra shops and they can get you measured and get yourself a nice fitting bra, a nice fitting strapless. I like to wear a lot of sports bras when I'm in the house, but make sure you have a bra on your appropriate size. That way, and nothing is spilling out or popping out when you bend over. You feel comfortable. You don't have to be constantly adjusting your bra and your shirts. And then finally, you know, make sure you wear appropriate jewelry, nothing tacky. Me personally, I like to wear a lot of costume jewelry, like for earrings. I don't know, I love bright colors, love wearing cute little things that you probably seen. I wear a lot of the similar ones over and over, but I do have a lot of costume jewelry. But you can wear like a nice pair of diamonds. That would be really pretty if you have them, little small ones. You can wear like a nice a gold necklace. Like I had this little heart necklace. This was the first gift that my baby got for me, like a nice little initial necklace. And you can also wear like a nice gold bracelet if you have one, and then you can wear, I'm not gonna say wear an engagement ring, but you can wear a ring on your finger. Don't overdo it, but just whatever you're comfortable with, whatever you like. So dress nice. And then the last two things actually. One, pick a beautiful fragrance that you like. Nothing that is you think is going to be overpowering, and I don't want to say older woman like, but sorry, there could be older women washing. I'm just saying nothing, when I say older woman, I mean like nothing that's going to be like a scent that was used. You don't want to give off a scent that is outdated, right? A scent from, the reason why I say older woman is because if someone isn't older, they may have used a fragrance from like 40 years ago. That fragrance might not be in style anymore, but because that was a fragrance that was around then, they really love it and like it. So wear a modern scent. You can wear something that's classy and sophisticated. One thing that comes to mind for me is Chance by Chanel. So if you like that type of fragrance, that's okay. But you don't want to wear anything that's too strong. That's kind of a strong scent. But if you want to go on a classy dinner scent, you can wear something like that. But if you can pick something fruity and fun, wear a quality fragrance. But one thing I want to mention, one fragrance that my husband absolutely loves is, what is it? It's Jessica Simpson Love Fancy. Jessica Simpson Fancy. My favorite fragrance by Jessica Simpson is Fancy Love. That's when it comes to like the white one. It's more creamy, but he loves this. I wore it one time. I was like, this. He doesn't like compliment my fragrance that much, but he was like, you smell so good. I was like, this is the Fancy by Jessica Simpson, and that's like a more caramel, toasty scent. And so yeah, and that's a very inexpensive scent. So it doesn't matter the cost, but just for something that you love and something that you know smells really good, something that's going to enhance you, and you know, make sure it's prominent. It can be soft too, but nothing that's going to be overly powering to where people, it's like, can be like an unfavorable scent that you know a lot of people might not like. You can pick something that is more, something that's classic, or something that is like well liked. So like I mentioned the Jessica Simpson Fancy fragrance, something like that if you would like, or something that's more high end if you want to as well. And then after that, the last part I want to mention in terms of preparing, that is going to be wearing a nice face of makeup. If you wear makeup, you know, do it tastefully. Wear a shade in your color. You want to put your little if you want to put your little, what is it, not highlight, your concealer under the eye. You're gonna wear makeup that is not gonna get too dewy and moist. So there's a makeup that I use sometimes in the summer. It's called what was it by? It's Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk. I use that, and sometimes, and that's like a dewy scent, so dewy makeup. So I wouldn't really recommend that in the summertime. MAC, I think, is a really good makeup. The MAC, the normal one, you know, it comes with a little cylinder tube. I think that's the most common one that people use. That's a matte, and it's full coverage. That can work. And then also you want to, you know, put a little highlight if you want. Add some depth to your face with, what is it? Not the highlight, is the brightness, the contour, a little contour shadowing. You know, put on some eyeshadow if that's what you do. Put on a little eyeliner underneath, maybe on top, liquid if you want, and do your brows. Put on a little brush and put like a little powder over everything. Before you do the blush, put the powder, blend everything in. Put your lips in. You can do a neutral lip. You can do a little light, a little darker liner than what your lip is, or about your lip color, and put a little lighter shade. You can wear a red lip. Just look good. Make sure you enhance your beauty. And if you don't wear makeup, that's completely fine. No problem. Put on some lip gloss so you don't have dry lips. And there's even like clear eyelash gel if you want to put something like that on if you don't wear makeup. But just enhance yourself and make sure that you know, try to appear as you would normally do on a day when you're going to work, or when you're feeling your best if you go to church, how you would have your face. Just look really nice, and no makeup. You don't have to wear makeup if you don't like makeup, but I do, so that's why I'm advising you in that way. So you want on your date, you want to be nice to the person, be kind. Don't allow them to be touching on you or anything like that. They should be holding the door open for you. If you're coming in at around the same time, they should. You don't have to hug them or anything like that. I don't recommend it. You can say, hi, you know, nice to meet you. And then you go from there, because sometimes the men can take things the wrong way. If you're hugging them, they're like, oh, she hugged me. Okay, so she'll be open if I want to kiss her at the end. I know it sounds crazy, but that's how some people think. You know, you don't know this person, so you don't want to give them any ideas, although a hug is not giving somebody an idea, but just saying in general. Okay, this cup, I actually love this cup. My younger sister got this for me. I received several gifts for my bridal shower, and that was one of the gifts she gave me. Several gifts that she gave me. And okay, so you're there, you're on a date, you want to be nice, be kind, be a feminine woman. A man, he wants to know that you're going to be a good lady in his life. So that's not going to be debating, arguing. There's a lady that I know, that I used to know. She would debate with everyone, debate with all her friends, debate with men, and friends who are women, and debate with men, or debate with her boyfriends as well. And she would be so wrong with what she was debating about. But even so, like, just be mindful of that. You could be right, but do you have to be right? You know, I think we all can be guilty of that sometimes, you know. But if you're with your like family and stuff, and that's just how you guys act, no problem. But you have to dial that back. You have to make some changes, because men don't like that. Men don't want to feel like you're constantly trying to one up them. They want to feel like they can teach you something, right? When I first moved with my husband, that was one thing that he was trying to do. He was trying to he was, let's say I had like a pepper, right? Like a green pepper. I don't know if it was a green, red, or orange pepper. I'll just assume it was a green pepper. And because they're more common. And let's say it's like long, right? It, and let's say I was cutting it, instead of cutting it horizontally, I was cutting it vertically, right? And then he like kind of came in. He's like, "Oh no, let me show you how to cut it." And he turned it long ways, and he was like trying to like chop it. At first, I was like, "Okay, like why are you trying to do that? Like I know how to cut a pepper." But then I'm like, "Oh, he just wants to show me like how to do something." So just have to remember those things. Like men, they just want to teach you stuff. So afterwards, I'm like, "Oh, okay, yeah, thank you." and I meant it though, because I don't know. I think sometimes I cut it that way. Sometimes I cut it like this way too. So I just think it was just at that moment I was just cutting it that way. But when you think about it, like yeah, it is actually easier to cut it the long way. So you can just after you cut it the long way, then you can just turn it sideways and chop that way. So but yeah, it was just funny. Just keep it in mind, like you don't want to have to be always right. You don't have to show like you don't want a man to think like they can't teach you anything. Men like to teach women stuff, and there's nothing wrong with that. So you're on the date, like if he mentions something that he liked, and then you don't want to be like, oh well, I don't like that. I actually like this. You'd be like, oh really? Tell me more about it. One thing I know, when I was on my dates, I was nice. I asked them questions. I was pleasant. So I think all the men that I went on the date with, they really liked me. And they were interested in me. So be pleasant, be kind. So let's say a man is asking you, is saying like, let's say the conversation of what you do for work comes up, or what he does for work, and he asks you, and you just say, yeah, I work in customer service. And then he says, oh well, do you like it? You could say, yeah, I really enjoy it. I think it's really fulfilling for me. What about you? What do you do for work? And then he says, oh well, I work in in the film, and I'm working on a movie right now, but I don't know, it's not going that well, but maybe I'm hoping that my next summer will have everything prepared. And you can say something like, really? Wow, tell me more about it. What's the movie about? That's so interesting. Don't want to say too much at once. So you can say, so, wow, really? Tell me about that. That's really interesting. Then he'll tell you about it. Men, you have to be sincere, right? So you're not just saying this, but there's just some things that are nice to do. Like men are interested. They want to know that you're interested, and that makes them feel good. Men and women, there's so many things that go on in the world. Men are competing with men. They want to feel that the lady's interested in them, that they are going to be supportive of them, that the lady can be their peace. Obviously, you're just going on a date with this person, but that's how men think. It's the same way women are feeling. They want a man that's going to be mindful of their heart, their feelings, their emotions, going to be protecting them and providing. So that's just from that male perspective, by the way I see it. So you want to be kind, caring. You laugh with them, smile, not to the point where you're not going to take you seriously, like no, not like that. Not to the point where it's going to come off like you're dumb or like you're silly, daft, but just be pleasant. That's the word. Be pleasant with them, and things are going to go really well. I can give you more tips about that in terms of the full conversation and what type of things you should ask. I think I already have a video about that. But after the date, don't let him kiss you. First, second, absolutely not. No holding hands, absolutely not. Remember, you're engaging him. There should be no emotions. Like I said, it's like an interview. I was saying that more about the dress, but you're interviewing him to see who is going to be a good candidate for your life. So you don't want to, don't bring any hand holding. You don't know this person. Remember that. You don't know this person. Just think this is going to help you. Think of it this way. You went to work, you went on a job, you're there for something professional, and you met somebody, a man at your job, and you had like a conversation during your lunch hour, and then after the lunch hour, he grabs your hand and holds your hand, okay? Or let's say you went for lunch twice with him just for work-related purposes while you're at work, and on a second date, he tries to hold your hand. On the second date, or first date, he tries to kiss you. I know it's professional, but just think about it that way. This is an interview. This is an interview for your life partner. So there's nothing involved with touching and kissing and any of that. This is not what it's about. You're trying to gauge who is this person. Remember that, ladies. Kiss, hug, hand holding is later. Okay, hug can come if you want to hug on second date. Yeah, but first date, no. But yeah, so there's no rush for that type of stuff. That's gonna cloud your mind. It's unnecessary. So after that first date, he should, He might ask you on a second date right there, but you know, I think usually men is gonna hold off on that and wait for you to get home and stuff. It's fine if he checks in on you, asks you if you got home okay. You should not be the one checking in on him, asking if you got home okay, but it's okay if he didn't check in that day. He may reach out to you the following day. I think in this day and age, if the man is serious, he absolutely is going to reach out to you the next day if he's interested in you. Out of the three, I remember the first one, no, I can't remember. I know the first person I went out on a date with, that person, I don't know if they told me right then and there. I think right then, oh, yeah, that's a crazy story. The person thought I was their girlfriend after that first date. So yes, he did want to see me again. The second one that I went out with, that was my husband, and yes, he definitely told me that he wanted to see me again. And then the last person, yeah, that person was like outright and said, hey, I want to see you again, like, you want to go on another date with me. But I think that person had a lot of experiences where he told me where the ladies would kind of ghost him. So I think that's why he wanted to make sure he asked me right then and there. So I think he had like what is it called, where you like do something a lot of times to try to get better outcomes. So, but yeah, then he may or may not ask you. So it's okay. But if he asks you the next day, that's okay as well. I think personally, although I didn't have this experience, if the man, let's say you have a date on day one, if you don't hear from him day one in the evening, that's okay. But if you don't hear from him the following day, day two, and then if you don't hear from him day three, so that's 2 days after your date, 2 days following your date, I wouldn't recommend it, because that means he's not interested in you. He's not very interested in you. If he was, he would have reached out because he doesn't want to lose you or lose the opportunity to get to know you some more. So I would recommend to proceed with caution. If he contacts you after that, I would say don't, but it's your choice. For adults here, so I would recommend no, but it's your choice. I will give you another video about what type of topics to talk about on a date, how to act on a first date. I feel like that's going to be helpful for you. So I'll do a part 3 on that, more topics for the date, as well as what's to come, like with dating, continuing to date online, and whether you should proceed, how things should go. So there is going to be a part 3 that just came to me. Well, have a wonderful day. Have a blessed night.